The ZPD precinct, Chief Bogo addresses the assembled officers, emphasizing that partnership is the absolute cornerstone of their success. He outlines a mission to catch a corrupt customs inspector, assigning heavy hitters like the Zebros to lead the charge. However, he explicitly orders Hops and Wild to only observe. But despite these orders, the pair infiltrates the shipyard undercover. Judy pushes a stroller while Nick disguises himself as a baby, and they approach a guarded area but are stopped by Inspector Snootley. Judy quickly improvises a story about celebrating her son's birthday, claiming they wanted to see the industrial trains nearby. Nick plays along, whimpering about a tragic accident he suffered, and begs the inspector to sign his leg cast. This forces the annoyed official to scribble a doodle for him. So while the inspector is distracted, Judy works on the lock. Just as she opens the container, Bogo orders them to stop, and the smugglers spot the officers and immediately flee in a van. Judy drives their patrol car in hot pursuit of the suspect, navigating through traffic while Nick complains about her aggressive driving. Other police units try to intervene and push them aside, but the chase intensifies as they enter a tunnel, causing chaos. When the suspects deploy rolling spikes, other cars spin out, so Judy decides to leap from her vehicle onto the catering van. This causes the stolen truck to crash into a memorial statue, and once the dust settles, the officers open the back doors. Instead of typical contraband, they discover a mysterious reptile inside. Back at the station, Bogo screams at the two rookies, and although Judy insists the reptile discovery is significant evidence, the chief is furious about the damage they caused the city. He scolds them for disobeying direct orders during the operation. Chief Bogo sighs in his office, admitting he actually likes Officer Hops, but complains that their recent recklessness made headlines today. He warns that not every case saves the world, and when Nick attempts to crack a joke, Bogo harshly questions his childhood trauma defense mechanisms. He reveals that peers are questioning their partnership compatibility, so he pulls them from the field immediately. He assigns them to a special team workshop, threatening to separate them permanently if they fail. They arrive at Partners in Crisis, a therapy group run by a sloth named Dr. Fuzby. He explains that mismatched pairs require extra effort and asks the new arrivals about their journey. Judy insists they are functioning better than fine, yet Fuzby points out her suppressed foot-tapping discomfort. He also notes the emotional insecurity of her partner, before the session devolves into a chaotic roleplay exercise. Outside, Nick suggests they simply lay low to survive, but Judy worries that complaining will worsen things. Nick tries to reassure her they are a dream team, until colleagues mock them as super cops nearby. Nick asks if she believes in their dynamic, and Judy admits she wants to prove it to everyone.
Chew off my own arm.
Happy anniversary!
Back home, Judy video calls her parents, but her father warns that fine signals distress. Her mother advises her to prioritize happiness over being right, so Judy hangs up to focus on work.
The Tundra Town expansion will be starting soon.
She watches a news report about the Zootennial Gala, learning that the Linksley Journal contains weather wall plans.
Catering company.
Linksley family made.
A conspiracy theorist claims a snake once sought the book and predicts the reptile will return soon. Judy connects the catering van to the gala and urges Nick to investigate the potential threat. Nick remains skeptical, reminding her they are on thin ice. But Judy argues this could save their partnership. He reluctantly agrees to check the perimeter with her, establishing that if they find nothing, they will bail. Judy and Nick arrive undercover at the glitzy Zootennial Gala.
Here we go, let's go! Sometimes a mad place, it's you and me together. In a place where I baby, keep the music playing. Come on, get on your head, and we're turning the floor into a zoo. Can't be tamed, and we're turning the floor into.
But they pause as Mayor Windancer arrives for the press. The mayor poses for photos while discussing the Tundra Town expansion. Yet Judy notices the unnatural lack of snow nearby. She realizes the area is artificially warmer than it should be, and they spot a reptile cleaning windows with a suspicious grin. Judy discovers a side door left conveniently ajar for them, though Nick mocks her interpretation of snooping as breaking in. He explains that this setup is clearly a classic hustle, so they sneak inside to blend with the wealthy guests. Judy admits she always dreamed of infiltrating such an event, but Nick jokingly distracts her with a jab about her ears. The announcer introduces the rare Linksley Journal on display.
Okay,
It's not just the clothes, okay? It is.
Get invited to a lot of these?
Allow me.
I'll get a closer look. Watch my sex.
BOGO alert.
Has joined the mix. 3 o'clock.
Let me just... Oh, nope. That belongs to you.
A weird thing to say at a party.
Well, I just mopped a... I am Pobert. Hi.
Judy,
Are you actually working this?
no.
Guards.
That was my joke.
Well, we should. It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, get off stage, Pobert.
We are you?
Look at you all.
I knew it!
Please.
Snakes never hurt anyone. I have to prove it. When I do, my family...
Reptiles, it's like, who knows?
Hogbottom commands his minions to kill the snake immediately, intending to frame Judy and Nick for the chaos. While the mayor shouts for the fire to be extinguished, Judy desperately tries to keep the reptile warm. Hogbottom falsely accuses the officers of attacking the chief, forcing Judy to grab the journal and flee the scene. They are quickly cornered by armed guards, however, and despite Judy's attempt to fight them off, Mr. Big's henchmen toss them into a car trunk.
As a venomous snake
Considered extremely dangerous.
Later, the news reports that Chief Bogo has died, though Mayor Linksley clarifies the chief is merely critical. Milton declares he will take the snake down personally, and he orders Brian to bury the fugitive officers, threatening his subordinate with extreme consequences for failure. Meanwhile, Judy struggles to answer her ringing phone, but she realizes the device is being tracked, so Nick decides to handle things his own way. They arrive at a hidden warehouse to meet an ally. Mr. Big reveals he is now a grandfather, and he offers the pair new identities to escape. He explains that the lynxes kill for territory, warning Judy that her investigation threatens their land expansion. However, Judy refuses to abandon her duty to justice, so she asks for leads on the reptile mystery. Mr. Big directs them to a local expert podcaster. They meet Nibbles, an enthusiastic beaver with a van, who promises to help them locate a reptile contact. Nick attempts to veto this dangerous plan immediately, but Judy sets a strict 24-hour deadline. Nibbles invites them into her vehicle to start searching, driving the team out to the Foggy Marsh Market, where she explains the neighborhood was deliberately cut off. The group travels by ferry to locate a criminal hideout, but a sea lion reacts aggressively to their presence. Nibbles claims that respectful communication will solve the problem, and after acquiring directions from the chattering locals, Judy worries about losing the trail in the darkness. Nibbles guides them to the end of a scary hallway, where Judy insists they must help the innocent snake involved. Nick acts nervously, admitting a deep aversion to reptiles, and he slips on a snake's skin, causing a commotion. Nibbles advises them to accept any food to show respect. Before they enter a lively club filled with reptiles, a gecko accidentally detaches a tail nearby, and Nibbles introduces the fugitive officers to the crime boss, Jesus. The leader demands they eat a bowl of living grubs, so Judy and Nick struggle to swallow the wriggling insects, only for Jesus to reveal it was a practical joke. He examines the metal journal with his specialized vision, identifying it as the property of Ebenezer Linksley. He explains that the city expansion displaced his people, and warns that a new project will destroy the market. Suddenly, the hideout begins to rumble from an overhead breach, and police officers storm the club, causing widespread panic. Jesus believes they can save the city and urges escape, but a mysterious figure apologizes before fleeing into the tunnels. Judy chases the suspect toward the docks, while Nick stumbles as they scramble away from authorities. The police spot them heading for the transport tubes, forcing the pair to dive into the chute to evade capture.
You're gonna run over there! Coconut!
Prequels. Who says the industry's going down the tube?
Following a chaotic tumble through the drainage pipes, Judy and Nick emerge soaked but alive, and though they realize they have lost their guide, they stumble upon two locals resting nearby. The hikers identify the mountainous area as Kopenhofen, prompting Judy to ask about the rare flowers. They learn the plants grow at Honeymoon Lodge, a former reptile hideout accessible by an old rope. As they hike toward the snowy summit, Nick uses his pen recorder to deflect tension, joking about what to write on their tombstones. They eventually reach the dilapidated structure at the peak. But find the interior completely ransacked and abandoned. While Judy explores the creaking, shadowed ruins, she steps into a strange, wet substance, just as vehicle lights suddenly flash outside. Nick screams for her to get down immediately.
There was a whole reptile.
And amidst the wreckage of a lost neighborhood, he begs her to run for her life. He argues that being a hero changes nothing, and sadly admits their partnership might be doomed. Suddenly, armed figures crash into the room, throwing them into a desperate, close-quarters brawl. A mysterious ally unexpectedly intervenes to save Judy, but the attackers manage to surround the fox. Judy is forcibly dragged away from the fight, and as she speeds off on a motorcycle,
She's not dead!
she learns that Nick has been taken prisoner. The mayor demands to know where the rabbit is hiding, but Nick feigns ignorance to protect his partner. Frustrated, the politician orders the immediate freezing of Marsh Market, intending to mercilessly flush the reptiles out of their homes. As Nick is dragged away to rot in a dark cell, the mayor taunts him with the promise of Judy's demise. Meanwhile, Paubert leads Judy into a hidden tunnel, introducing her to an eccentric snake named Gary in his hideout.
Meeting up with you is very exciting.
Gary proudly shows off his collection of vintage artifacts.
Turn it off!
On display at the gala, I sent his family an
While Paubert explains how he smuggled the reptile into the city.
But we're gonna help your partner. Are you ready?
light.
How much do you...
Some secret hidden in the metal cover.
Focusing on the mission, Gary uses heat vision on the journal, allowing Paubert to realize the book was stolen from Gary's ancestor. The shocking truth reveals that a snake actually created Zootopia.
Father saw what her idea could be worth.
But Paubert's great-grandfather stole the technology to claim credit. He committed a brutal murder to frame the innocent inventor, and subsequently buried her entire neighborhood under tons of snow. Determined to prove this, Judy realizes the patent is nearby, so the group devises a plan to locate the buried home. They decide to reactivate the old clock tower as a beacon, which requires infiltrating the control room inside the weather wall. Back at the prison, Nick is thrown into general population, where aggressive inmates immediately threaten to settle old scores. He desperately tries to warn the warden about the corruption, but he is ignored and cornered by his cellmate, Nibbles. The beaver questions why Nick and Judy separated.
Trust koalas because they got 4 thumbs. Did a whole...
Please just let me concentrate.
Roger that.
She,
And what did you say before?
Forcing the fox to admit that he pushed her away. Inside the cell, Nibbles teaches Nick the mechanics of a hug, but suddenly, alarms blare, forcing them to abandon the moment and run. Guards chase them, but Nibbles leads the charge toward the exit, and prisoners riot, tearing down the walls to escape into the desert. Nick realizes they need a getaway car to reach Judy immediately, so he suggests they find the fastest driver in Zootopia's history. He turns to an old friend, recruiting Flash to be their driver, and they hit the road, though the sloth moves at an agonizing pace. Meanwhile, Paubert explains to Judy that they must power the clock tower. He claims this mission will finally redeem his family's tarnished reputation. Back in the car, Nick frantically calls Clawhauser for Judy's location. Paul the guard intervenes, but Clawhauser distracts him with donuts, and he finally locates the pair, moving through a chaotic street festival. Paubert realizes the police are tracking Judy's phone signal, so they stumble into a vibrant celebration, trying to blend in. They sprint through the dancers, narrowly avoiding capture by the pursuing police. Suddenly, the zebra enforcers block their path, looking for a brutal fight, but Clawhauser directs them toward a hidden access door in the weather wall. Milton watches from a distance, ordering his sniper to take the shot. The sniper takes aim, waiting for a clear line of sight, but just as the trigger is pulled, a vehicle intercepts the bullet. Judy survives the assassination attempt and rushes toward the control room stairs. They climb 5 flights of stairs to reach the main breaker box, and Judy enters the freezing chamber to locate the manual override switch. She strains against the rusted lever, desperate to restore the power. Finally, the lights flicker on, signaling their success to the city. Yet when she turns to leave, Pobert suddenly locks the heavy door. Apologizing through the glass, he admits this was always his secret plan. He confesses that he intends to leave her out in the cold, arguing that he must prove he belongs, no matter the cost. Pobert declares he will burn the patent to rewrite history, and though Nick's voice calls out from a nearby screen, it is too late. She begs Pobert to choose a different path than his family, while Nick arrives at the tower, frantically searching for his partner. As the temperature drops, Judy whispers Nick's name and collapses. The story continues as Nick frantically locates his partner, shivering in the freezing chamber, where Judy murmurs deliriously about their failure to succeed. She feels the crushing weight of letting the city down. But Gary insists she succeeded by becoming his true friend. Desperate to save her, Nick asks for permission to hug, wrapping her in his coat to share his body heat. Suddenly, hostile workers interrupt, mistaking the rescue for an attack. Nick creates confusion by claiming she suffered a snake bite, sparking a chaotic brawl with the angry construction crew.
Get it over with!
Amidst the fighting, Gary screams for them to grab the antidote, and despite Pobert's warnings, Nick retrieves the life-saving device. He immediately plunges the medical pen directly into Judy's chest. After the adrenaline fades, the two share a vulnerable moment. Nick drops his guard, admitting that he truly cares. He confesses that his humor masks deep-seated emotional insecurity. He admits she is the most important person in his world. Moved, Judy reveals she acts tough to hide her fear. She finally admits she joined the force to find family. She tears up, telling the fox that he is her pack. Their touching reunion is awkwardly interrupted by the beaver nearby. Suddenly, they spot Pobert escaping with the stolen evidence. Realizing he plans to destroy the patent, they give chase. Meanwhile, Pobert confronts his father to prove his loyalty. He promises to lead the older Lynx to the buried documents.
Linksley, take me to the patent.
Nibbles stays behind to fight off the remaining henchmen.
Peewee! Ow!
Okay, I go left.
Allowing the partners to commandeer a vehicle for pursuit. Nick struggles to control the car during the high-speed chase, but they launch themselves toward the target for a final confrontation. Judy executes a powerful kick to disarm their treacherous opponent. Pobert vows to destroy the patent and the town, claiming a fox and bunny cannot stop his dark vision. However, Judy confidently reveals they have a slithering ally, and Brian suddenly ambushes Pobert, causing absolute mass panic. A chaotic, desperate brawl erupts as the heroes fight back, while Gary attempts to capture the elusive snake, but fails. Judy ignores their defiant screams as she handcuffs them, telling Pobert that justice matters more than his bruised ego. She discovers a crucial, long-lost piece of evidence nearby. Just as the unhinged villain tries to burn the building, he screams about his lineage as the structure collapses. But the news soon exposes the entire Linksley family conspiracy. As the Tundra Town expansion is officially cancelled by the city, Judy reflects on the complex nature of their diverse society. She explains that understanding differences makes them all stronger, a sentiment that resonates deeply with the large gathering crowd. The Zebros introduce themselves to Clawhauser by their real names, while Judy's siblings gleefully play with the heroic snake. Judy nervously introduces Nick to her parents at the farm, and the encounter ends with a warm, accepting embrace. Nick surprises Judy with a recording on her carrot pen, admitting his affection for her in a rare, honest moment. He pivots to their next high-stakes mission immediately, deciding they should chase the escaped prisoners to the outback.
Zootopia!